Here on the Troy University campus, there's a lot of buzz going on about softball. I'm Barry McKnight, softball coach Eric Newell. You're in your third year now, and the season is right upon us, Coach. Tell us a little bit about the state of the program right now, heading into the start of the year.
Well, I mean, we always get asked, and even it is a concern, you know, last year's team did such a nice job and we finished so strongly, and you lost a lot of players. How's this year's team look? And so, yeah, they're right. You know, we lost 70% of our innings pitched. We lost 70% of our home runs. But we're excited about the start of this season. We've got a great group of returners led by 5 seniors. Taylor McKinney kind of leads that charge, and has, as anyone who follows us closely has seen, she's just bringing in the accolades here in the early spring. But we have a plethora of new players that are going to play big roles for us, and I think it'll all kind of shake out, but certainly excited to kind of see how that shakes out. But there's a lot of new faces for the fans to see.
It all begins this coming Friday with a home tournament, some really good opposition out there. Heading into that, I kind of sensed a great deal of excitement from the fans at the start of base. The fan day at Trojan Arena was outstanding. The first pitch banquet. What's the vibe there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great buzz, and it's been exciting to see so many people ask so many questions, and our fans are excited for the start of the season. I love the fact that we have 2 tournaments here to begin the season here at Troy.
The first one is the Trojan Classic. It goes from the 7th to the 9th, which is Friday through Sunday. What's the approach in that one? What do you want to get out of that opening week? You looking at combinations?
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at a lot of different starting combinations, most likely. And, you know, we've got several opponents, and it's a variety of opponents: North Texas and Central Michigan, Samford, and who am I forgetting?
North Texas, Central Michigan, Tennessee State.
Tennessee State. So it gives us, we'll get tested hard with North Texas and these other opponents. We got to bring it every single day, every single opponent.
I know the fans certainly can make a big difference at the Troy softball complex, correct?
Oh yeah, you know, we love having fans. The girls just really feed off the energy that the fans bring, for sure.
Friday through Sunday, the Trojan Classic kicks off Troy softball. Head coach Eric Newell is with us. We take a look at some of the preseason accolades now. You've got D1softball.com. Preseason projects Troy 3rd in the league. They project Taylor as the player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference. Is that motivation? Does that serve any purpose, or is that just kind of one of the things you can't control, so you kind of filed it away?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I mean, it's a great honor, and certainly we love that for Taylor, and I think Taylor is certainly excited and humbled by it. But at the end of the day, it's how you finish, not how you start, and I think she even gets that. And so our players have a tremendous amount of respect. So it's almost like they're more excited than even Taylor is. Not that she's not excited, but it's a huge honor for her. And 3rd in the Sun Belt, you know, a lot of that is just based on last year's finish. Right. And I think we were in the semifinals of the conference tournament last year and fell to a close one to Louisiana Lafayette. So the preseason rankings are, you know, they kind of come out in the wash. And I guess it's fun to kind of, it's newsworthy, but maybe not really.
But in terms of making your program achieve the next step, let's not look at how you rate against the rankings, but how you rate against your team's potential. To get to where they need to be, where are the points of improvement? Who needs to step up, and where do the questions that are out there need to be answered?
Sure. You know, I think there are a lot of questions. The exciting thing is the Sun Belt's wide open this year. So many key players from so many different universities in the Sun Belt are now gone, whether that be via the transfer portal. Arguably the top pitcher from Lafayette went on to University of Oklahoma, and just program after program after program, including ours, lost key players. So in this regard, our seniors will certainly carry us and lead us. They lead us on and off the field. But again, as I say earlier, you know, there's a lot of new players that are going to play key parts in this. Maya Holt comes to mind. Maya from Wetumpka. Really, honestly, you hate to give her the ace title, but she's kind of shown that she might just be that.
Her high school accolades are as long as my arm.
Oh, well, that's right. And, and she's so humble too, and it's really neat to see. And as the fans will see, she has such a calming demeanor in the circle. So I really think that bodes well for her. Where if she does get hit hard, she doesn't get too bent out of shape. And if she has a lot of success, I don't think she'll get too high either.
Well, we ask about where are the points of improvement, where are the questions that need to be answered. We'll ask the opposite side of that question, Coach. Where are the known commodities, the people other than Taylor and some of the others? Who are the people that you can rely upon and the production's going to be there?
Well, I think a key one is behind the plate. Sarah Beth Brake is she ended the year really, really hot, had 7 or 8 home runs, and certainly we expect big things. And that catcher in a lot of programs, baseball and softball, that catcher really controls the defense, and she's done a nice job. Another 3-year starter, Natalie Turner, who looks to move from third to short, local product from Dothan, and just a great kid on and off the field. But just seeing her develop her leadership skills has been key. Cassidy Bolts is another one that comes to mind, who is our designated hitter and just hits with a tremendous amount of power. And the girls really respond to Bolts. They look at her physically and say, wow, she's such a physical specimen, but they also listen to her off the field, and she brings a lot of wisdom. And then one last one I just would like to throw in is Annie Orman, our transfer from Ole Miss, brings that SEC kind of credentials and wisdom and maturity, and I think she'll really help us a lot.
You always seem to have had in your years, and really in the history of Troy softball, that player that has the personality that players tend to gravitate around, from the Livy Bakers and people like that. And Cassidy seems to be one of those. I ask that because you've already mentioned 2 or 3 times in our short visit leadership and how important this is for this team.
I think leadership and culture, that's such a buzzword in athletics right now, and certainly I'm so pleased with where our culture's at right now. And I think culture, yes, ultimately is led by the leader of the team, the coaching staff of the team. But if the players take to the culture, it can just take off.
Well, let's take it full circle from where we started. Entering your 3rd year now, the state of the program culture-wise, is it where you like it to be? Are they starting collectively, consistently down through the years, understand what you expect and what needs to happen for success?
Sure, and I think that is something that you're constantly trying to grow. And I do think here in year 3 that we are not to take anything away from our first 2 years. We finished in the top 60 in the RPI the last 2 years, and we're really feel good about what we accomplished in those first 2 years. But from a culture standpoint, from a chemistry standpoint, I like where our team is at. They've really bought in. Our base running, I think, has taken a jump from last year to this year. But part of that, I don't necessarily know is by design, but we were a home run hitting team, and we just, from a recruiting standpoint, we've gone to more athletes that, not that we're going to shy away from any home runs. Heck, we hope we still hit 60, 70 home runs, but I do think there's a versatility, there's an athleticism, there's a speed factor that will be noticeable going into this season.
The season starts again on the 7th, which is right upon us, but I've got to finish up by asking about where, after this regular season ends, Troy will host the Sun Belt Conference tournament at the Troy Softball Complex. That seems to be a big feather in your cap, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, and that starts with our administration, their willingness to host that, and that's not just something that just happens. There's so much paperwork involved, and then from a commitment level, from top to bottom, there's going to be so many people that put so many hours to make that a successful event, not only for Troy softball, but for the Sun Belt Conference. So for us to get to host that's a huge honor, and our girls are so excited, especially our 5 seniors, who we hope that they don't play their last game, here on our field. We hope that we're celebrating with them here in the Sun Belt Conference and moving on for a regional berth.
Well, certainly the point can be extended. The fans can make a big difference, the Trojan fans, in the Sun Belt Conference tournament here in Troy, but they can make a big difference all season long. Right. It starts the 7th through the 9th with the Trojan Classic to start off the Troy softball season. Coach, we're excited.
Oh, we can't wait. And let's keep this warm weather, why don't we?
I like it. That's right. Coach Eric Newell, Troy softball. I'm Barry McKnight from here on the Troy University campus.